Hey gang, it's August 31st, 2017, and we are live. Hey gang, it's August 31st, 2017, and we are live. Hey gang,
Hey guys, what's going on? We're live.
Hey everybody, this is Eugene of the Sneakerphiles podcast. You can find us online at www.sneakerphiles.com, on Twitter at Sneakerphiles, and on Instagram at Sneakerphiles_podcast. You're watching Sneakerphiles Live with Brooke Hoetzer, and here's Brooke.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's going on, man? So it's been a week or so since we did one of these. So how's your week been with sneakers and fashion and whatnot?
Yeah, for sure. So it's been a crazy, I would say probably about 2 weeks with the sneakers and also the fashion going on. There's a lot of dope things that are coming out. A lot of stuff has dropped this week and the previous week. So if you're in the market of getting yourself something, now is really the time to do it. So if you're trying to look fresh for back to school, there you go.
So hold on one second. So it's been maybe 5 to 12 hours since or 20 hours since I last did a live stream. We did the Sneakerphiles podcast live last night, and that was kind of an experience. So I'm stretching out a little thin right now, but I want to be here for everybody in the chat. And if you're in the chat right now, say hi. We can read everything you're saying, and hopefully we'll get some good turnout today, and get some engaging conversations going. So how do you feel about this week's content? What do you got for us so far?
Yeah, so I'm really confident for the content that we're going to give to you guys this week. And like Eugene said, we would really love that participation from you and kind of just hear what's on your mind, what you've been anticipating, what you've picked up, your thoughts on a lot of collaborations that are coming out. So we're really going to dive deep and really get in a lot of really great topics here. So we're going to really get into it tonight.
Yeah, let me know what you're going to start with, and we'll go from there, and I'll keep adding on and interrupting you once in a while, and hopefully it's going to be a good flow of the show tonight.
All right, cool. So let's get into it then. So this week on pickup wise, I'll kind of let you know what I picked up, what I have my eyes on to pick up continuing, and also some really cool news. And then we'll finish it off with our main discussion. So what I'm going to talk about now is going to be what I've picked up this week. And so I'm going to start it off with a shoe that I've had my eye on, and we talked about it in maybe last week's or the previous chat, was the Nike Cortez by Kenny Moore, the ones that are the white silhouette with the Moore written on the side of them. The reason why I really wanted to add this shoe to my collection was not because just the fact that it's a sneaker and it looks really clean. I just love the story behind it. So if many of you Nike heads out there know, Kenny Moore is one of the first originators with Nike that kind of has produced some of the sneakers silhouettes and also added his flavor, and also was an athlete. So I got the white ones with Moore written on the side of them. And I actually was able to kind of not spend my money on them, which was super dope. I got a Nike gift card, so that was a nice little pickup that I kind of had that I really didn't have anything out of my pocket.
Wait, you said Kenny Moore is an athlete, so do you know what sport he was into?
I believe he was a runner. So he was either a runner or he did the pole vaulting or something along those lines, because that whole collaboration of those shoes was based on about an ankle that was kind of broken. So the pair that I got, the white pair, I'm going to have a blog up for you guys tomorrow, kind of the history about that shoe and also a detailed look of it on foot. And I will say, I was so impressed with the box that came. Like, I was geeking out to Leah about it, about how detailed the box was, about how it says a quote on it. They give you another set of white laces. So that was super sick. So stay tuned, guys, for a full blog and a review of more of the history and the heritage on the Cortez. As you guys know, if you do follow my website, you know I really like to go not only of the heat of the sneaker, but also the history behind it. So, like, why the shoe's a little bit rare, the making of the shoe, how it fits, different things like that. So stay tuned for that. I will be dropping that tomorrow, hopefully. So another shoe that we'll lead into later on the discussion, I will just say I was able to reintroduce myself with a shoe that was one of my grails. So this is the Nike Presto acronym. And I will explain more to you later on in the chat. And I want to hear your thoughts about all three of them. If you own a pair, if you want a pair, what's your favorite, whatever, definitely drop a line in discussion. I was able to get my hands on the Volt. So I will talk more about that in our main discussion. And it was a killer steal. So that's all I'm going to say with that. Another shoe that I did stumble across was the Flyknit Trainer Sunset, the pink ones. I don't have a pink shoe. I thought that the shoe was really beautiful. I really like the black and white ones, and I like how comfortable they are. To me, in my opinion, those in the racers, they are kind of eye to eye, but you can go, I hear a lot of people tweeting about it, you can definitely go a half size down. They do definitely run, I feel like, a little bit bigger than the racers do. Also, too, I was able to get my hands on an item from Supreme today. So a long sleeve for the fall, super simple burgundy colorway. Burgundy's one of my favorites. And that's about it for pickups for now. Also, kind of want to talk.
You got 3 pairs of shoes in 1 week, and that you said that's it.
I counted as 2 because one I didn't pay for.
How many did you just list off?
3. The Moors.
There you go. That's 3.
The Prestos. Yeah, but I didn't pay for one.
Oh my god! But you still copped 3, so that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, so that's the deal. I can't help it, man. There's so many great things that are coming out. There's so many shoes. I really, honestly, I'll be honest with you. Going forward for like our segment, that's my John. I'll lean into that in a second, but I do want to talk to you guys about the fit of the week super duper quick before we dive into that. So fit of the week, I got my acronyms today, and I love them. They fit really great. I cannot wait to really stunt with them and wear them. But what I've been really into recently are pretty much just Nikes, just wearing either the trainers or a pair of racers. I love the breathability of the racers. It's a really great shoe, especially for the heat, because there's not a lot of like bulkiness to it, and it's just super duper lightweight and very thin. And Vans, really, that's about it for my fit of the week. So I've been really into Nike, throwing a Yeezy every once in a while, just because they're just easy to go with. You can just grab them and put them on. And also just a pair of Vans. Our weather's been kind of like crappy. I talked about that last week. We really haven't had too many like nice days to kind of wear really like white shoes. But I did debox my Pure Platinums, so that's about unbox my Pure Platinums.
The Pure Platinums, like the Vapor Max, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Pure Platinum Vapor Maxes.
And how many Vapor Maxes do you have now?
So Vapor Maxes, I just have 3 of them. I have the Pure Platinums, I have the purple ones, and I have the triple blacks. And I really do like that shoe a lot.
And so far, you've had like Vapor Maxes have been out since March, so it's been like 5-6 months now. How do you feel about the Vapor Maxes being a running shoe, a casual shoe? How do you feel about the shoe in general? And of course, we're gonna have to ask once again, now that you've had more mileage into the Nike Vapor Maxes, how do they compare with the Adidas Boost technology?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I actually got into a Twitter conversation about this a couple of days ago. Someone tweeted a picture of Vapor Max, like them releasing the triple whites, trying to say that they're better than Ultra Boost here and there, whatever. People are going to always try to say that one thing's better than another. But the thing that fascinates me the most and kind of like irritates me are the people that kind of just are so biased towards Ultra Boost because they don't want to put a Vapor Max on because they don't want to try something different. They're just too hyped up on one silhouette of one shoe. when it comes down to, like, get over the hype of an Ultra Boost. Like, it really is not that great of a shoe. I can compare Yeezys way more comfortable than an Ultra Boost any day of the week. But I will say my purple Vapor Maxes from the Day to Night pack have probably the most wear out of all of my Vapor Maxes, and they are so perfect. I put that shoe on, and it legit, like I've said it before, I've compared it. It's like when Iron Man puts his suit on. It just forms right to my foot. Like, it's perfect. The breathability is great. The comfort's great. I wore my triple black ones when I went to New York, walked all throughout New York in them. Phenomenal. I don't have any issue with that. But with Ultra Boost, when you wear the shoe more often, you start to really feel the burning of the sole. So that Continental sole is not all that it's up to be. And the thing that gets me irritated the most are these people that are saying things about Nike and about how it's not a comfortable shoe and how Ultra Boost is better, are not people that are using the shoe for what it's made for, which is running. So if you're a runner and you're going to tell me that an Ultra Boost is the best shoe out there for running, you're a liar, because it's not.
I know we had.
So
I know we had
that's it.
discussion on the podcast before that. Someone tangentially related to one of our panelists on the podcast said that he's a absolutely hardcore runner, and he was looking for a pair of Ultra Boosts. And just really quickly, would you recommend the Adidas Ultra Boost, like I guess the 3.0s right now? Would you recommend them as a long distance running shoe?
No, not at all. If you want a shoe that you're going to get and you buy it and say you forgot your pair of running shoes to take to the gym, but you have a pair of Ultra Boosts in your trunk, sure, great. I used the Ultra Boost for running. I had 3 good runs in them, and it was great. After that, the Continental sole wears out. Like, those shoes are just, it's all about the hype for the shoe, and people that are just wearing them all day or taking pic for Instagram, whatever, say that they're this and that, but you're really not using the shoe for what they're made for. So just don't talk about something that is not relevant.
So you've ran in them, so I guess you have firsthand experience.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll absolutely believe you. And maybe I just won't run at all. That'll just be the safest way to avoid it. So Absolute Styles in the chat is telling us his last cop this week was the Air Jordan 1 All-Stars from the sneakers restock, I suppose. Something that you've been looking for, right? Have you ever had a chance to pick up a pair of those All-Stars?
They are on my list to pick up, and kudos to you, man. Those shoes are so sick. I don't know why I don't have them in my collection, because the All-Star 1s, in my opinion, are one of the top All-Stars. Like, I was torn between ordering those or the Royals, but I got the Royals because I love the heritage behind it, and of course they're the Royals. But I will say, kudos to you, man. I probably could have had them too, but I was trying my hardest to get the band. And I'm an idiot too, because I searched for a band today for grade school, and so many searches came up, like for cheaper, like for just top, like just regular pricing. So that's definitely something. That's a really great pickup. So definitely shoot a shot, tag us in it, let us know how you think.
So what's next on your John?
Yeah, let's do it. So that's my John. I'm going to talk about things that are on my list, things that I want to get, also things that may have sparked my interest. So let's get into it tonight. So the Off-White collection, yes, everyone knows about this. So this comes out, Eugene, right, Saturday?
I believe they come out special engagement style this week. So it's invite only, this and that. We all know that. I think New York is the first to drop, and then I think either London or Paris or something like that. So it's gonna be like a touring kind of location.
You gotta travel.
Yeah. So it's not gonna be easy to get, just because there's only a few locations, and you have to be like crazy lucky to get an invite into this thing. So it's not gonna be easy for most people in the world to get this thing. So you're looking forward to this, I guess?
So, no, I'm not. I mean, I want a pair of the Off-Whites. So the reason why I brought this up, and this is my John, is because recently last week we talked about the NYC Made, about how New York sent out invites to individuals to be able to get this shoe. I was one of them. However, I received an email asking me to confirm my spot to get the shoes this weekend. All filled. Nothing. So, I mean, they keep saying to check back, and check back, but I've kind of have it in my mind that it's just not something that I'm probably going to be able to get at retail. And with the resale pricing, it's just a shoe that I'm gonna wish I had,
Well,
because there's no way I will pay that much
that's the
money for
thing
a shoe
is that
ever.
you showed me that you got that special email or whatever, and then you got a little bit excited, and I told you not to expect too much from it, because I have a feeling that's like a mass email that was sent out, and they somehow, I don't know, select whoever or however to be invited to one of these drops, and I'm guessing only a very select few got to is going to attend to this.
Yeah, so I mean, it was cool. I'll definitely look at the shoe and admire it. What really just makes me most irritated is how I don't even know the guy's name, how they have that tennis player wearing the ones, and it's just like, why?
That's Roger Federer, man.
I don't care. I don't play tennis.
He was the top ranking tennis player for a while, and he's one of the top Nike athletes in the world. We actually had a long discussion last night about tennis and how marketable tennis is. And the thing is, you got to remember, Nike is a global brand, right? So any sport that plays well outside of North America, they do get some spots, man. And like Roger Federer has his own signature shoe, you know, like the Nike Vapor Max, the one that looks like a Jordan 3. Like, that's his shoe, man. This dude is a big deal in the world of sports.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I know that. But, like, I don't know. It kind of teases me. That's all.
That sounds like you're just kind of salty, if anything else.
Yeah, I know. I really am, because I actually really like the one. But like how you said, if I could have any of them, I definitely would probably want the Vapor Max, because that's kind of like what people know me by. So that might be something, but, you know, who knows? Maybe the resale for the Vapor Max won't be too terrible, but I doubt it. So another shoe that I'm going to get into, because I'm sick of being salty and I'm sick of having my heart broken, is going to be the Skepta, the 97, the Skeptas that are coming out. Super dope shoe. They release on the Sneakers app September 2nd. Hopefully in Canada, you guys definitely do get that soon. I
actually know the release details of this thing. Only one store. I don't know if you guys are familiar in the States. They're actually a pretty big brand up here in Canada, and I know in the States they do a lot of business too, and that's Livestock. Have you heard of Livestock?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had their own Adidas consortium, and they even had their own signature Pure Boost with Adidas. So Livestock's a big deal up here in Canada, and they are doing an in-store and online raffle. You know, like you go on Instagram and tag 3 of your chump friends and shit. So they're doing one of those, and as far as I heard, in-store raffle is only running till tomorrow until 3 p.m. And of course, I only live like 15-20 minutes away drive from that store.
Yeah, you better go there.
Here's the thing, man. There will be hundreds, if not thousands, of people that's going to be doing a raffle for this thing. And from what I've heard from a very, very, very reliable source, is that they're going to have maybe half a size run of this thing. So.
Ooh, super limited.
So we're talking about less than 10 pairs.
Oh, damn. Livestock did the reigning champs, right? They sold the reigning champs? Did Livestock sell when Ultra Boost released the reigning champs, or no? The first ones, not the second ones.
I believe they did, and the funny thing is, Reigning Champ is a Vancouver-based company, and they're actually not very far from downtown. And Livestock was one of the first official retailers of that brand. I don't know if they're investors or not, because their store carried a lot of Reigning Champ items, and I asked what it is. They're like, oh, Vancouver startup, da-da-da. I don't know if they're partners or whatever. I don't want to speculate, but they were one of the first and only official in-store retailers of that brand, so they have a good history together.
Oh, dope. That's sick. Cool. So that's definitely something that is on my radar to pick up. That's really honestly the only shoe. Actually, I saw a little bit of leaked images. I'll kind of talk about that in the news, the feed, or the undefeated ones. So we'll kind of segue into that. So let's get into the news, guys. What everyone, anticipates, searching through the week, seeing what's coming out, what they are in hopes of possibly getting. So I'll kind of get into it. There are rumors. So like me and Eugene have said before, when we talk about rumors, nothing has been confirmed. We are just having a discussion. So there are rumors about the Adidas Boost Yeezy 700 Wave Runner, a couple more colorways that were spotted. Also wanted to, I saw some things on like Twitter and different things like that about another Power Phase colorway, and I kind of think that's a little bit weird, because the colorway that I saw of leaked images that were allegedly rumors, whatever, They don't really look any much different, in my opinion, than the previous model that was released. It kind of looked more like a gray. But I really do like the new 700 Easy Runner photographs that I did see. So I would like to get one of these into my collection. I am kind of a little bit mad at myself. I want to say mad, but the fact that I didn't pull the trigger, because a lot of people know that I do rock like Yeezys pretty hard. So I feel like it would be a nice shoe to kind of get. However, I do hear that they are very bulky. But there are rumors of it. So if this were to happen again, I will make sure to perhaps try to cart a pair, just so I can kind of give you guys some content on the shoe when it comes, and also so I can just get, you know, my in of it.
I just want to say, in the chat right now, we got Buckeye City Soul.
Yeah, my man. Yo, he's the one telling me to get the Jordans. That's the boy right there.
But he is saying the 700s are pure trash juice. How do you feel about Kevin's take on how he feels about the new Yeezy Boost?
So, I mean, it's apples to oranges. Like, everyone has their opinion on a shoe. So, like, everyone's different. I think, like, yes, you could say, like, personally, if someone was like, yo, Brooke, do you want this 700, you know, Wave Runner, or do you want a pair of, like, Jordan 5 Supremes, or a pair of, like, Nike Up-Tempos? What would you pick? I probably would pick the Up-Tempos, definitely for sure. But there's always that variety that's kind of good to have in your collection. So I can agree to you on that, just because it is a little bit hyped up. And to make people pay like $300 for a pre-order and still charge their card, and it's not even coming until like, what, November was it? Is a little whack to me, because you kind of like, you should charge it when it ships. That's what I think about that. It's kind of like the
pre-order. That's how it works, though. Like it's a common practice, maybe not in the sneaker world, but we have seen this kind of practice before. Like, it's not a shoe for me, so I really have nothing to say about it. But if you had a chance to pay $300 up front and get it 2 months later, would you have?
I mean, it would be kind of a nice thing. So I'll give you an example. Kind of something what I'm dealing with is I got stuff from the Anti-Social Club last drop, and I haven't seen shit. And it's been like 3 months almost. So like, that's a little bit annoying. I actually emailed them today, and they like sent me a message back with like all these hearts. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, just give me my shit. Like, what's up with that? But yeah. So I mean, that's kind of like where it is on that. But honestly, if someone asked me to, like, I think that the Raf Simons look, those Raf Simon ones that are like $500, I think they look better than the Yeezy Wave Runners, but that price point for them is way too high, but it's also more of a fashion shoe. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Thanks, City Soul, for joining in.
Yeah, thank you for everyone so far in the chat. Like, that's my man right there. This whole show is built around interaction with the viewers that are live and the chat, so we appreciate all the interaction. And the thing about the when you're talking about the Raf Simons, it's spelled Simons, but it's pronounced Simmons, I believe. And, yeah, it's weird. And the difference between his designs and Kanye West's Yeezy designs, I feel, anyways, this is just my opinion, is that as of, you know, this year, it looks like Yeezy's doing throwback kind of shoes. Like, we got the Reebok Classic that's very reminiscent of the Calabasas, or just a straight up knockoff or ripoff. And we also have the 80s style dad runners, which are the Wave Runners. And when you look at the Raf Simons and even the Y3 line from Adidas, you see that they're very futuristic looking, or at least what we interpret as what the futuristic kind of shoe would look like. I think that's the main difference. One's a throwback, inspired kind of line, and one is, you know, unconventional, contemporary, or even futuristic style.
So yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of crazy because like no one, like the Y3s, they started at such a high price point, but if you see them, like if you follow like just deals on Twitter, they go down in price so much. Like, they don't stay at that price point because no one buys them. But besides that, there is that rumor, so we'll see if that does happen, if we do see another power phase. So something else that I kind of want to talk about, which I think is kind of interesting, is Nike. Nike officially has Kendrick Lamar on board with them. So what are your thoughts on this, Eugene?
Oh, man, what do I have to say? I love Kendrick Lamar. I think he's one of the most influential and most important hip-hop artists of this generation. because he's not only, his songs are not just very listenable and very inspirational, but like his messages are good. And as of right now, he's not one of those scandalous filled type of hip hop artists, which is a good look for the genre.
Definitely.
And Kendrick Lamar probably one of my favorite artists, not of any genre right now, and Nike probably my favorite athletic apparel brand. So like it's just good for me to know that this is something that I can look forward to. But the only issue that I have with this merger is that it looks like that the initial lineup of his endorsed Nikes will be the Cortez. Not something that I'm a huge fan of, but it's a start. At least he's with the swoosh right now, so I can't complain too much.
I was just going to ask, and if anyone in the chat I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you guys think, if you want to drop something, that Nike made the right move with making the Cortez his signature shoe for right now? So if anyone has any thoughts on that, was it good that they did the Cortez and not maybe like how Skepta's getting a 97? Or is anyone's thoughts on the fact that they chose the Cortez to be his signature shoe? For example, how Travis Scott has the Vapor Max. So do you think that this was the right move for Nike to do? Should they have chosen more of a popular shoe? In the back of my mind, I think that they chose him to do the Cortez because they want to kind of get more Cortez out there. If you look through the feed, there's a lot more Cortez colorways displaying. And I heard you guys in your podcast talk about last night, was it the Shark or whatever that Cortez was? It sold out right away. It was gone. So is this something that's is this what they want to be like how Adidas maybe has the NMD? What's going on with that? Or what are they, the Pure Boost?
I think
since it's kind of smaller.
I think the Cortez has been I think it's considered a Nike heritage shoe at this point. It's been around forever.
It's like Adidas Stan Smith, right? So maybe that's their version of the Stan, how hype the Pharrell Williams did the Stan Smith with the whole new vibe that he got going. Maybe that's Nike's thing.
I think the main reason why they chose the Cortez, this is just my speculation, of course I always have to throw that in, is because the Cortez is somehow relegated to be considered a West Coast shoe. Like Portland, and it's a running shoe, and it's built for that kind of lifestyle. So I have a feeling just because Kendrick Lamar does represent the West Coast in his music, that they chose a sneaker that was very iconic to that area of the United States to represent his brand and his personality and kind of what he engages his listeners into into thinking when they think Kendrick, West Coast, Nike, Cortez. I think it's just a family of I don't know how to explain it. It's just West Coast, you think Kendrick and you think Cortez, so it kind of makes sense to launch that collaboration with that one shoe. But I hope that's not the only thing that Nike and Kendrick have in store.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I think there could be something totally, down the road, maybe some sweet apparel, something like that. But I'll be honest, I'm really impressed with, like I said, I picked up those Cortez Moors. I really like the simplicity, the nice, sleek, clean freshness of the shoe. And the Cortez is super dope. I really like the shoe. So when I was in New York, I actually was thinking about picking up the white and red ones because I love red. And I love the hair, the vintagey look for it. So I think that there's a lot of great things that are going to come that way with that shoe, or maybe something different. But I'm really open and curious to see what's going to happen with that. So I think that's going to be dope.
So what else do you have coming up in the feed?
Yeah, so now another collab. I kind of want to talk about just if anyone's views on the ASAP Ferg and Adidas skateboarding collab. So once again, another celebrity. So me personally, I looked over the collection that's coming out. I personally am not going to cop anything, but I really do like I really do love the apparel that he has, and also the shoes are pretty dope too. If anyone's taking a term on that. What are your thoughts, Eugene? Are you feeling that or?
I'm not saying that it's a bad move on Adidas, but
Yeah.
when you talk about skateboarding and this and that,
Yep, there you go with ASAP. Yeah.
that and ASAP
Does he
skateboarding,
skateboard?
he's not known for it, so I don't know if he
It's a little
does.
weird.
If
It's like
anything,
runners. It's like runners saying Ultra Boosts are the best shoes to run in.
well, there's that, and also when you think skateboarding, you don't think Adidas. You think the
No.
Vans. You think even Nike has a very, very strong skate connection in the professional skateboarding world. They have signature athletes that represent that brand in that sport, right? But Adidas, I'm not familiar with the Adidas skate line of shoes, and I know they have some because Adidas.
What is it? The Gazelles? Did they use the Gazelles for that? I think
Gazelle's a runner though.
Yeah, but the three stripe ones, like I've seen, like the shoe that ASAP is doing looks like a Gazelle.
Yeah, that's the main issue. Is like, why even have a skate? Why give him a skate shoe? Just give him a lifestyle shoe. I'd have nothing against ASAP being with Adidas. It's just the skate shoe thing that kind of baffles me. That's all.
No, yeah, I agree with that. The apparel is nice. Like I looked at the apparel, like it's kind of cool, the style of it, but it just kind of is just like, I think they're still trying to do a little bit too much, with what they have as opportunity wise. Next thing too, so we talked about the New York City made that is going on. So something that I think is really cool. So Adidas and Pharrell Williams are doing a slogan called "Quiet Please." Did you hear anything about that?
No, they were too quiet about it, really.
So on Monday, I read on August 28th. So New Yorkers were able to kind of do like a symbolic icon of this whole "Quiet Please" slogan with the whole like human race thing that Pharrell Williams has going on, where they're able to like scatter around 10 different locations in New York City so they can express themselves as loudly as possible. So there were like multiple chairs that were set up in New York, supposedly. I haven't heard anything. Like I was looking at this and I kind of added it to the content, but I haven't heard any outcome of it. I will kind of just like segue off into saying that I think this is really like, I love the fact that Pharrell, like the one big thing that Adidas has going for them, I feel like right now, is Pharrell Williams with the collab of the new NMDs that he's about to roll out, because just the whole entire slogan behind it, the whole meaning behind like the human race and everything going on like that, I feel like it's a really great kind of just collaboration to do in a way that people can like really speak their minds with like what's on their feet. So if like, for me personally, I have sold all of my NMDs. The only NMD that I have is my human race NMD. I have the black ones with the yellow laces, and that shoe actually goes for a lot, like a lot. I personally would not sell that shoe because I just love what it stands for, and it's also too, it's such like, those NMDs to me are super duper comfy. They're more comfortable than any NMD that I've ever had, and I just love just the whole meaning behind the human race campaign. Do you own any human races?
I do not. I've actually tried multiple times. The only issue is that the hype level in Vancouver is like off the charts, and you can't really get anything hypey unless you have a very strong connection. And that's the main issue I have with this, is like, okay, the branding and everything, the message that they're throwing out there, everyone's equal in the human race. And don't you think it's a little bit ironic that they want equality expressed in this one line of shoes, yet we're not equal because only the most elite of the elite can get this signature shoe?
Why, thank you. Just kidding. No, but like that's I feel like that's why they came out with that whole like little tennis pack of those other ones.
Yeah,
but
man,
they're whack.
Okay, they're like a consolation prize for people who couldn't get the NMDs. Don't you think that's how a lot of people? Why do you think they're still sitting on the shelves?
It's like when you're like a little kid and you go to like play soccer and you think you're like doing so great and you're like, oh, you got like most effort. You get it. You get this shoe.
The tennis hue is the shoe that your mom will get you when you tell her, oh, can you get me the human race NMDs? And then she comes home with it and goes, oh, this is a lot cheaper. And it's just the same. It's like coming home with a Mad Catz controller when you ask for like a Nintendo one.
So I'm gonna compare this shoe to a shoe that I thought I was gonna like. I'll give you a quick little story. I don't want to take too much time on it. When the Pure Boost first came out, I thought they were super sick. I really liked the Oreo colorway of the Pure Boost. I was like, yo, I'm copping these, this and that. So I get them. I'm like super excited. I got them that day. I go, and I'm walking through the mall with them, and I look over to my side, and I see this fucking cart that has those light up like trash Yeezys that are like just like black and white, blah blah blah, this and that, and I'm like, fuck. These look just like the fake Yeezys. And still to this day, Pure Boosts are comfortable. I will compare them to a knockoff version of a Yeezy. But the one shoe that I just cannot stand, and I actually like some of the colorways, but I just can't stand it because it reminds me so much of like being so hype and just can't getting what you want, is the shadows, the tubular shadows. If you see a pair of the triple black tubular shadows, they kind of do look a little bit like Yeezys. Don't you agree?
I think
if you would have to really look.
Very intentional. No.
That's what I mean. Like, it's just a shoe that it's like how I really want the Jordan 5 Supremes, but like I'm gonna buy the camo 5s because it's too expensive to get the Jordan 5 Supremes. Like, that's kind of how it is.
Do you think it's a thing that Adidas is doing right now? They release a ultra limited shoe, the Yeezys, the Human Race, or whatever the case is, and then they also have a lower tier, very easily accessible shoes that cost a lot less, and they are very similar to those shoes that are impossible to get. Do you think they do that on purpose?
I feel like they do, because I feel like Adidas probably takes a lot of shit from people like just contacting them, or like a lot of customer service issues because they're unable to get something, like say something is sold out right away, or they have an order and they get an email saying like an issue with shipping. I think this is their way of being like, hey, sorry this didn't work out for you, but we also have this. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and you're like super duper excited to like pick this one menu item off of the list, and the waiter comes back and he's like, sorry, we don't have that, but we do have something that is similar. And it's like not what you want at all. So I think it is something that they do to kind of cover their ass. So yes.
That's fine and all, but like I think it can eliminate so many of these problems if they just made more of those ultra limited shoes. And I don't know, like I guess they don't mind these things sitting on the shelves and going on clearance and whatnot, because I see a lot of people wearing them. Like, especially, you know what's the biggest surprise of last year into this year for Adidas for me was the Adidas Alpha Bounce. Man, I would have had no idea those things would be so popular, and like I see a lot of people wearing them.
Yeah, I have a pair of the Alpha Bounces, and they're actually a pretty dope shoe. Like, I actually played basketball on them. Because I was just out and about, and just there was a game of basketball going on, so I played in them. They are good for it, man. They give you ankle support. Like an Ultra Boost, you'll break your fucking ankle trying to play basketball on that. But I mean, the Alpha Bounce, the first Alpha Bounce that came out was like, and I regret it, I actually ended up selling it to a friend because I just wasn't sure if I wanted to keep them or not. Were like the speckled black and white ones, the OG ones, and they're like super rare and hard to find. I have the tan colorway of the Alpha Bounces, and they're kind of just like a shoe where I probably have only worn them like maybe like 4 times, and I've had them for a year and a half. They're just not a shoe that I really rotate in my like style. The next segment we're kind of going to go into is, we already talked about the NYC made. That was a to be determined event, if you got invited or not. So if anyone is going to that event, shoot a message down in the chat. Love to hear if anyone actually got through. But we'll go on to the next topic. And that's going to just be something similar to, I was able to get my hands on a pair of the Flyknit trainers early release through SNS. I had a coupon code, so I actually got them for retail, or like $5 under. And that was the sunset pink ones. What do you think, Eugene? You like them?
I do like them. I actually talked about it with you, how I was waiting on getting a pair.
Yeah.
And I'm still looking forward to them. They are still available. They came out like a couple of weeks ago, really, in Canada.
Really?
Yeah, the thing is that we share stock with Europe, so every time Europe gets a shoe,
Oh.
we have that same release date, and that might be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what the release is, but they're still kind of sitting with a lot of sizes, so they didn't sell out, and I didn't expect them to, but I'm looking forward to them. If it's just that I bought the white OG trainers when they first came out, and I don't know if I'm in that much of a hurry to get another pair of trainers, especially because I haven't even worn the white ones yet. But if I had a chance to buy the sunset, the fucking pink ones at a discount, I definitely will.
Yeah, the sunset ones are nice. It was actually crazy when I picked them up off of SNS. They sat a lot longer than the gray ones, which I personally love that color the most out of all of them because I'm not really a big white sneaker fan, but that is definitely something that I like. I love the trainers for that, but I kind of like the darker ones. That way you don't have to be so OCD about worry about getting them beat up. Next thing I kind of want to touch on to is the Air Max second chance. So did you hear that Nike is giving people another chance to get the Nike Air Max 1 anniversary?
I heard about that, and the release details are kind of scarce at the moment. What have you heard about it?
Same thing as you. I don't actually no, I did have a release. From what I read, it's going to be dropping September 21st.
And
but I don't know. I think I read that off of like one of the sneaker websites, I think it was Sneaker News, to be honest with you, just sneakernews.com.
From what I've read, I think it's going to be an ultra limited in-store release in certain parts of Europe. Like I heard one store in Germany is getting it, and besides from that one confirmed store, I really have no details about it. Yeah, it's nice that there's a second chance for it. But for North America, it might not be as easy as, the headlines have you think.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of to be determined. Maybe we'll have more information on next week's chat. So let's get into the next topic.
Why didn't you get it at the first time they released? They weren't the hardest shoe to get, man.
I was riding the wrong wave, baby.
I know we had this discussion back in the day when these came out in March, and I know, we both know how much they're worth now, and at the time, it was one of those shoes that people kind of forgot about, and people had no idea exactly how valuable something like this would have been. So I legit lined up for 20 minutes, and if I wanted to, I could have re-upped because the lineup was so short. I could have gotten back in line and got a second pair. And then after people saw what the StockX and GOAT prices were, the Sport Blue or the Royal lineup was a lot different story just 1 week after.
So fun fact for you, and you're going to make fun of me even harder for this, so I don't even know I'm going to tell you, but fuck it, I will. I was actually in New York City during Air Max Day.
And then you didn't get it just because you're like, I don't need air?
I was with people that worked for Adidas, so I kind of went with them. So it was kind of like if I wanted to go to a Nike store, I was kind of like solo, and I didn't want to get left behind. So that was kind of a damper. But yeah.
So you gonna try? Maybe they're gonna release online. Someone in the chat, Timbastan, says that they might be releasing online. So there's that one chance.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm hoping that maybe they'll drop them on the Sneakers app again. That would be super cool. That'd be super dope. But I shared with you guys my Heat wish list. That's kind of like what I'm really focused on finding right now. And I'll tell you, some of the shoes are really super hard to find. Was able to get those acronyms, and we're going to talk about that soon. So let's get on to the next topic. So we already kind of talked about the Vapor Max Triple White, the Ultra Boost, comparing them. So I'm not going to really go more deep into that. I kind of already told you, and I'll say it all the time. Try the Vapor Max. If you don't want to try them because you're too stuck on Adidas Ultra Boost and you're just so close-minded, then I'm not going to have a discussion with you on something that's not relevant. So then, did you hear about, real quick, the Nike Air Max LX that are like $400? Did you hear about that?
Nike Air Max. Pierre, of all people, of course, he's the one that brought them up. And you want to give a quick description of why they're $400?
Yeah. So from what I've read, they're there's crystals in them, correct?
As far as what Pierre told me, it's a pair of Air Max 97 OG. I don't know if they're the OG or if they're the new, what do you call those? The Ultras. But they are encrusted in the 3M area with Swarovski crystals. Not just any crystals.
That's what it was. I couldn't pronounce the Swarovski. So I don't want to say, Swarovski crystals. I looked at images of these, and I don't like them. I think they look just like the new ones. I'm a big fan of the OG Silver Bullets. I love that shoe. I was wearing them today. Leah always makes fun of them because she thinks they look like weird and like super duper futuristic, but I fucking love that shoe. If they ever restock the OG gold ones, which I tried to get, but like the website was just giving me an error message when they restocked. I love the OG look of it. I'm not a fan of the new colorways of it. But this is definitely a shoe that I will pass on. I just don't like how glittery and glamoury it is. It's not really my forte.
I think Pierre told me that,
and the price point's super high.
So it should be a GS release, maybe an extended GS release, but it looks like Nike is catering this shoe for the ladies, and I don't know if ladies are really looking for a shoe that has Swarovski crystals all over it, to be honest.
One, so many chicks, like, just to bring up, are like cheap when it comes to sneakers that aren't sneakerheads. Like, that's why bitches wear tubular shadows, because they get like, they're like, where Alpha Bounce is. Like, it's just like a tubular shadow to me is like a thought shoe. So if a girl has on a pair of tubular shadows, low-key thought. Yeah. So that's about it. Or a pair, even though I wear them, Vans are definitely a thought shoe.
Not for
me. But besides that, so I recently, back on our 97 train, I saw pictures of another 97 by Undefeated. Did you see those white ones? I really like them.
I did see them, and I'll let you go first.
You like the black?
How do you feel about the white ones?
I like the white ones. I think they look super vintage. I think they look super dope. I'm into the white ones a lot. I also really do like the black one. The black ones, I'll be honest, if someone asked me to choose which one I wanted, I might take the white ones over the black ones.
Okay, I'll just let you know how I feel about that. The Undefeated 97s, the very first time you showed them to me, I was all like, yeah, but it's not an OG and this and that, and I was riding that train. But the more I look at these Undefeated collabs, the more I feel like it's a very nice tribute shoe to the Undefeated brand. They've worked together before. And the black ones, they are exactly what you think a Undefeated shoe would look like. But something about white leather just always gets me, man. Like, I think it's because I was a sneakerhead in like the 80s and every shoe had to be white at that time. So like anytime a white leather shoe comes out, it just looks right to me. And I can't decide which one I like more. I think I like them equally, like, which is a lot. So I have no issues with either pair. And like, if you ask me which one I like more, it will probably be based on when I see it in person, how easy it is for me to get, and just if I can get either one, really. So they're both thumbs up for me.
Dope. So that you bring that up, I did pass a topic that I kind of wanted to touch on. If anyone's in the chat, I kind of really want to hear your thoughts on this. So if anyone wants to post something, is the Jordan 1 Flyknit. What are your thoughts on this? Because I know you talked about it in the podcast, and I hate to bring it up because I've listened to it, and I know you and the guys talked about it. I'm kind of where Joe lies on this. I do kind of find more of an interest when I look at the shoe a little bit more into it, but I feel like taking an OG shoe and kind of adding that Flyknit, it's cool that they did it for the band, but now there's rumors about a Royal with it. Now, is this going to be like the new wave of the Jordan 1, just Flyknit? Like, is that where this is going? Because me personally, I fuck with Flyknit, but only when it's trainers. If we're fucking with the Air Jordan 1, I don't know how comfortable I am with making a whole lineup of ones just based on Flyknit. Like, I'm not really feeling that. What are your thoughts?
Okay, just because we talked about this ad nauseum yesterday, I'll go through it real quick.
Yeah,
hit it quick. Air Jordan 1s, in my opinion, is one of those shoes that you'd be very, very careful about it. It's like a fucking classic movie. You can't fuck with it too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think what they're trying to do with this thing is modernize it, which is what Nike does. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it improves on it. Say the Air Maxes, of course, it's a running shoe, it's a high performance shoe, and if you can give it a classic modern high tech kind of treatment to it, okay, go for it. And the only issue I have with, not the only issue, one of the biggest issues I have with this, first of all, it looks kind of silly, it looks cheap, but it costs more. And you're fucking with the bred ones, man. Like, there's so many Jordans that you can kind of mess with a little bit, and people won't be too upset. But the Jordan 1 is like one of those things where people can legit get offended if you don't do something phenomenal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I'm going to pass on this shoe. Because it's what? Whoa, why do you say that?
I know you're gonna pass on it. It's just I haven't talked to or met any single person that said that, oh, I'm gonna go and buy these at full retail. I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
No. So what this fucking shoe reminds me of is the mini golf turf. Like, just like fucking like fake grass. Like, I don't like it. I don't want it at all. And the band is actually one shoe that I really want in my collection, and that's probably going to be the next shoe that I'm going to hunt. So I'm not fucking with this Flyknit. I don't want no parts of it.
So the guys in the chat, if you let us know how you feel about the Flyknit bred ones, or even the Royal ones, the supposedly leaked photos of the Royal ones that are supposed to be coming out. I just don't want this to be a thing, man. Like, stop it. No more. Do something else, man. Like, you tried the bred and the Royal. Maybe you should have went with a new colorway or whatever, but the Bred and Royals, dude, come on, man. It's, you know how people got really upset when they remade like certain movies that shouldn't be touched, kind of like when they made like the Transformers movie, or when they remade the Ninja Turtles movie. Unless you get it spot on, people are going to be upset. And that's this kind of treatment to a classic shoe that people really, really get upset if you do it wrong.
It's like going to the grocery store. Your mom's at the grocery store. You're like, can you get me a box of Captain Crunch? This bitch comes back with like Crunch Captains, or like that knockoff like brand of like cereal. Like, get that shit out of here. The real deal, 100% authentic. Don't add like a new twist to it. Just keep it classic. It's not meant to be like that. Like, I wonder what like Michael Jordan like is thinking. Like, a shoe that was like classically designed for him is like getting remastered in a like turf. Like, I wonder what his thoughts are on it, but I'm not into it. That's a pass, hard pass for me.
So Timbastan in the chat was saying Etsy kind of product, and the podcast over here has lovingly nicknamed this shoe the Nike Jordan Etsy 1. So that's exactly how I feel about it.
This is like a fucking shoe that your grandma crochets. Like, get the fuck out. Are you gonna wear it with your like Doyle's Christmas sweater? Shit out of here. But besides that, we talked about a lot of super duper dope stuff. So one more thing that I'm going to mention in the news is something that's coming out September 9th that I'm actually excited for, and that's Fear of God is dropping in a line at PacSun. I do really like a lot of the Fear of God stuff. I was unable to get my hand on a pair of the Vans when they do re-release, or whatever date that is. I would definitely try for them, but they're coming out with an essential line of just different clothing. I kind of wanted to throw that out to you guys for your attention. Last time when PacSun released it, I work at a mall and they have PacSun in there. A lot of it sat for a while because they keep it really hidden anymore. You have to ask like to see it. So I have a couple pieces from past Fear of God collections, and I really just like the look of it. I wear a lot of things like oversized, so I kind of like how that whole look is. So that's definitely something that's going to be on my radar for September 9th, so I'm definitely super duper excited for that. Do you rock any Fear of God, Eugene, or do you guys have that out in Canada?
They're very, very hard to find up here. In fact, I don't know any store that carries them there's no local retailers that carry them. We don't have a PacSun up here.
Okay.
We have, what do you call it? We have a Zoomies. Do you guys have Zoomies down there?
Yeah, we do.
I don't know if, like, they're very similar, like surf and boarding kind of stores, but I don't know exactly what category the Fear of God shit falls into. Like, they're hip? Are they a street brand?
So Fear of God actually is similar to, it's an alternative, it's like Yeezy Supply. So Fear of God's clothing, if you look up their like information off of PacSun's website, if you're in Canada and you have a chance to look, they actually sell a lot of stuff in like the Yeezy Seasons that's very similar, but it's lower the cost. So it's made by Jerry Lorenzo. So that's something that, to me, I really like the style of it. It's just super basic. It is a little bit expensive. It's kind of like Supreme pricing. So you will pay like $50 to $60 for like a shirt. Shorts are like $85. Sweatpants are $100. but the material on them is like super duper nice. I have a pair of the sweatpants and a pair of the thermals and shorts. So I plan on picking up at least 1 or 2 pieces from this, just because when it comes out, it's like one and done. So it's really, you have to wait a pretty long time to get it. So that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. So now that we talked about the news, with the remaining time that we have left for you guys, I kind of want to get into the main topic, and that follows on what started this episode tonight, and that was about a pickup that I got, which was the Nike Lab Presto acronym, the Volt pair. Backstory for you guys, I had the bamboo pair. I ended up selling them. I really regretted selling them, and I actually sold them pretty cheap, because now if you search for this shoe on StockX, you search for it on GOAT or eBay, it's anywhere from $400, I'm not even $400, $500 to $1,000. So super duper limited. Not many of them were released. So when I sold mine, I regretted it. A big reason why I sold them was they were a little bit too big. The way that these shoes kind of go is the sizing is really hard to kind of come by. So the size that I wear in the pair that I just got is extra, extra, extra small. So 3XS. So, and that's 6 to 7. So they fit me really, really comfortable. This brand collab was done by a brand acronym Germany, so they make super duper crazy stuff. They partnered with Nike Lab, and Nike Lab produces a lot of heat as well. So a reason that segues what I'm saying all of this into the topic is that I bought this pair used, and buying sneakers used can save you a lot of money. When you purchase a shoe at retail cost and you sell it for resale, if you wear it, that shoe is no longer worth even the retail cost of it, depending on which shoe it is. So these shoes you still will, and different type of Yeezys, you still will pay more for them when you wear them used, but you won't pay that top dollar price. So a big reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is I've purchased my Belugas used, and I've purchased these Volts used. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with purchasing used shoes as long as they're not beat to shit. So if you find a pair of shoes that you really like and it can save you a lot of money, don't be like bougie with it. Just buy the shoe. Like these shoes I got for $280. If you look on StockX or GOAT on the pricing of this, it's going to be $1,000 and up.
When we're talking about buying used shoes, I do practice that once in a very, very long time.
Yes, if it's hard to get.
It's not just that. Like a lot of shoes I can't get DS, or it's just absolutely unattainable. But I happen to be very fortunate with the amount of shoes that I'm able to cop. I've been doing this for I don't want to. How do I say this without sounding like an asshole? I've been buying shoes for a very, very long time, and through that amount of time, I've had a chance to build relationships. And the more relationships you have, the more chances you have at getting certain limited shoes. And I'm just very fortunate with how I'm able to use that resource at my disposal. At the same time, I can't get everything, and I will buy a used shoe if the price is right, the condition is right, and it's something I really, really want. So one of the main reasons why I would get a used shoe, like I know it's an ongoing joke, is that I don't really un-DS a lot of my shoes. A lot of them are still on the shelves in the box with the receipt and everything.
Hoarder!
It's not hoarding, it's protecting my investment. Absolute Styles, you don't wear your shoes, so buying used shoes must be tough for you. Yes, and I'll get to why in 1 second.
That's so great. That's so freaking great.
I guess I'm known for that by now, but what I do is buy a used shoe when I already have a dead stock pair. So the dead stock pair stays dead stock, and I will wear the cheaper used pair. Like I have the Fear Pack, the Jordan 3, 4, 5. I have them dead stock. They're too nice. I don't want to take them out. I don't want to wear them. What I did was I bought a couple of them used at pretty much below retail, which is absurd. So the price was right, condition was right, and I had a DS backup if I were ever to change my mind and want to sell the used pair or whatever. So that's a lot of times I will buy used shoes if I have a DS backup.
No, I mean, that's totally understandable. That way you can have a pair and beat the shit out of the other pair. Like, not be worried about it. Kind of like the trainers. Like, I was thinking about doubling up on that shoe just because I don't want to mess it up. Like, I don't want it to get dirty. Like, shit happens. You don't know that. Like, I work in a retail environment. Like, there's been times where, like, kids are, like, running throughout my store, and I'm like, whoa, like this lady needs to control her kid because if it steps on my shoes, we're gonna have a problem. But there's just situations that happen. Like for example, I was over my mom's house a little while ago, and I grabbed like a soda and I dropped it, and the orange soda just freaking spilled everywhere. I was wearing my Vapor Maxes, my purple ones, and luckily Jason Marks took it right out. And that's another thing. Like, protect your shoes and get shoe cleaners. So when I picked these shoes up from the post office this morning, like, they look great. I posted some pictures on my Instagram. Check them out. Jason marked them, cleaned them on the inside as well. Good as new. Yeah, there's like a little bit of sign of wear, but whatever. I mean, I'm going to wear them anyway, so what's the point? Like, I buy sneakers to wear them. Like, there's a lot of people out there that, like, buy shoes to either resell them or let them sit, or maybe it's an investment for them. But, like, I buy shoes to wear them. So purchasing sometimes a used shoe for me is not an issue because I'm going to wear it. So what's the point? Who cares?
Well, and that's the thing, man. Like, I'm one of those quote-unquote hoarders that don't like to wear any of my shoes. So it's understandable that buying used shoes for me makes sense, because if someone else is going to take the value out of them instead of me, yeah, I'll jump all over it. It's kind of like it's kind of like buying a used car. Like, that's the most, a brand new car is probably the worst investment you'll ever make in your life. The second you drive it off the lot, you've already lost thousands of dollars, right? So why would I pay whatever price I did to buy a pair of DS shoes and be the first one to step in it and devalue it? It's just the way I see it as an investment. I'm a very dollar and cents kind of guy, and if someone else is courageous enough to wear a pair of shoes, unds it, and devalue it for me, of course I'll take advantage and buy it used and have someone else pay for the devaluation for me. You know what I mean?
Definitely. No, I totally agree with you. Great statement.
So Timba Stan says he would buy a used shoe depending on the condition. Of course, condition and price very relevant with your judgment of whether or not you're going to buy a pair of used shoes. Absolute Styles, he said he's done it with shoes that he refuses to pay resale for. And that's kind of your situation. You would never buy a dead stock pair of those acronym Prestos at those absurd prices. But you found a pair in a more suitable size and a more suitable budget. So everything kind of lined up, and you couldn't pass it up, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I could not pass that up, and it's actually crazy. I recently sold a pair of Ultra Boost on eBay that I ran a lot in, and they were pretty beat to shit. But someone really wanted a 2.0 that bad that they paid for that shoe. Like, they wanted that shoe that bad. They didn't care that my sweat was, like, in that shoe. Like, that shoe, like, I'm talking, like, condition-wise, they were beat. But they really wanted that 2.0, and it's a shoe that they cannot get anymore. It's gone. Yeah. So, like, for them to see that, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Who knows? Like, you can recondition a shoe. There's so many things you can do. So don't be afraid to buy a used shoe because you feel like someone else wore it. You're going to fucking put your foot in it and wear it anyway. And if the condition's good, price is right, buy it. And that's really, And
one thing I want to say about reselling, it's got a terrible, terrible connotation about greed and whatnot. Of course, resell is pertaining a lot to, you buy a pair of shoes and then you sell it and you make money off of it, right? But that's not always the case. Resell also pertains to people buying a pair of shoes, wearing them, and then selling it at below cost just because they've been worn, right? So there's a lot of good chances you can buy a pair of steals or something that's below retail just because someone else has worn them or whatever. So it's like the word resell has this terrible connotation to it, because it is associated with people trying to make money, but at the same time, it is people trying to get rid of shit, right? And a lot of times you can't find good deals. Like, eBay is, you got to do your due diligence on eBay and make sure you're getting exactly what you're asking for. But if you do your homework and spend a little bit of time, depending on what your time is worth to you, you can get some good deals out there. It could be way under market value or way under retail for that matter.
Yeah, like, there's certain times where people buy something and they just need that check, so they'll just sell the shoe, or they don't even care about the resale, they just want their money back. So you can definitely get lucky. I recommend, too, if you are going to sell, just because I do sell shoes in the past, I do sell stuff I don't wear, whatever it may be, try, like, a local Facebook group, because you don't have to get hit with all those fucking fees on eBay. Like, that's one thing. You get hit with an eBay fee, you get hit with a shipping fee, you get hit with PayPal. So if you know someone, Twitter's a good one, word of mouth. Here and there, you have so many different forms of technology and ways of advertisement. Use it to your advantage.
So Timba Stan is saying he bought a pair of Public School 12, the gray ones, for retail, and the condition was 8 out of 10, and he somehow recovered them to be more like a 9.5. And that's the thing, man. Like, people are putting shit out there
Yeah.
because they're lazy and they don't want to clean them or restore them to any extent. And then just because they got a little bit lazy, you can take advantage. Like PSNY 12s for retail, that should be non-existent. Like, I would jump on that for an 8 or 9 out of 10 for retail. That's a shoe I couldn't get. Just because
Yeah,
I never had
man.
them.
Kudos to you. You got yourself a sick deal. That's just like some people that have money just don't want to deal with the effort. Like you said, laziness. Like, I've gone to this place to get rid of like clothes I don't wear called Plato's Closet around me. There was a kid wearing a Kanye West pop-up hoodie, an Anti-Social Club hat, and had a pair of Flyknit Racer Cheetos on. I was like, yo, your outfit is killer right now. He goes, I got all this shit here. He goes, we get people that just bring in Supreme, that bring in these brands, and they don't care. They just want to get rid of it. And, someone else's, like, trash is your treasure. That's how I look at it. Yeah, they think it's trash.
And that's exactly it, man. Like, people, like, for example, I wear a lot of Bape, and not that I don't like it anymore. It's just that I have too much. I've accumulated too much. So the value of my Bape apparel, my T-shirts and shit, they're not worth as much to me as it is to someone else who just started collecting Bape. So I'm letting shit go for retail and below retail if I've worn it a few times. So it's not that I don't appreciate the brand anymore. It's just my style or my collection needed some change, and the value of those pieces weren't as much to me as the market or the next person buying it dictates. So it's just
definitely,
it's just depending on who's selling it and who's buying it. So I have gotten some steals before when I'm buying used stuff, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. But like, we have someone like you Joe from the podcast. He almost like 100% refuses to buy used shoes just because he is so concerned about the legitimacy of the pair in question that he really doesn't fuck with anything without the box or the receipt or anything. And I understand that kind of mentality. So he could be missing out on some good steals just because he's like a little low-key paranoid about people ripping him off. So I understand that as well.
When I got my trainers through a friend that got them overseas, he's like, you better check if they're real or not. I'm like, Joe, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, receipt or it's not real. I'm like, oh my God.
That's how he thinks, man.
Yeah. Some people are like that. Some people are super duper weird. For me, like, I just sold a pair of Yeezys that I don't wear, and the one guy like follows me on Instagram, and he's like, do you have the receipt? I'm like, I moved, I can't really find it. I won them as a raffle. And he's like, I know who you are, your shit's not fake. And I was like, exactly. Like, look at my shit, I don't wear fakes. If that's all, like, if you want to like go into that, but whatever, that's what it is. Okay. So
before we sign off, how about you give us like 1 or 2 quick tips on buying and selling used sneakers, like how you can be more consistent and hit your target a little bit faster.
Dope. Before we sign off, I will say 2 tips for you guys. When buying used shoes, always contact the seller if you see them on eBay, or if you see them on Go or wherever, Grailed, whatever it may be. Get details on the shoe. Make sure there is a box. Sometimes you might not have the box, but I would try to get the box with it. Negotiate the price. A lot of times they list it for a little bit higher, but you can talk it down because if they're selling it, if it's used, they do want to get rid of it. Second thing is get yourself some cleaning products. So Crep Protect, Jason Marks. I prefer Jason Marks because it smells good when you use it. It doesn't smell like alcohol or stain. It has a nice scent to it. So definitely get yourself some of that and get ready to clean them, because when they come in, even if they aren't dirty, just like clean out the shoe a little bit. Like, someone else's foot was in there, so just definitely make sure you kind of polish it. But that's really all that I have for you guys, and thanks for joining in the chat with that.
So before we sign off, do you want to hit up all your social media and how people can find you?
Definitely, guys. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at BrookieDo. That's Brookie and then Do with 3 O's at the end of it. And you can also check out some great readings and some also good content on brookiedo.com, and that's only 2 O's. So find me there. If you guys have any questions for me, if you want to connect with me, I would love it. So shoot me a DM on Twitter or Instagram, and we can definitely chat about whatever it is that you want. If you want advice on, a shoe that you see that's used that you might want a second opinion on, it's always good to have a sneaker community that can help you out with that purchase. So I'm here for you. So thank you guys so much for tonight.
So thanks for everyone that joined with the live feed and the chat and everything. You actually just got a brand new follower, it looks like, Timbastan. And once again, thank you, Brooke, and thank you to everyone that watched. This is still, a brand new thing. We're on officially episode 3 right now, and hopefully we can start. I think today had a good flow to it. We can start planning things out, and then if you guys have any show suggestions, leave them in the comments below, or you can find either of us on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Sneakerphiles, and you can find me on Instagram at Sneakerphiles_podcast. So that's basically it, man. Like, thank you everyone for joining us. The chat is what makes this kind of format really work for us. The more you guys give for us to feed off of, the more involved that we can have the community in this whole thing.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
So for the Sneakerphiles live show, I'm Eugene, and
this is Brooke, and we're out.